Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Tiger and welcome to Nerdcraft SMP Season 6, Episode 3. So last episode I started with the villager trading hall over here, and as you can see I haven't really built more in between the episodes, but I've filled a little bit of the villager slots, and we now have 4 clerics on each side. I mainly use them for redstone trading right now. And I also have a whole row of Fletchers, which will be one of my main incomes of emeralds, because the Fletchers have the string trade over here. And we are basically playing in 1.21.7. So string duping is not a thing anymore. But on this server we have a mod that basically lets us convert wool to string again. So if I make a sheep farm, I can get a better trade out of the string trades than I would get from shepherds with their wool trade directly. So I mainly use the Fletchers with the string trade. I could also use the trade for sticks, but I don't think I will use that one. Maybe if my bamboo farm turns out to be really strong, I maybe can use that one, but I don't have it planned for now. Aside from the villagers, there has been some more changes. So I mentioned that we need some wool right now. So the first thing that you can now see is a whole sheep farm over here. I will build an automatic sheep farm quite soonish. I don't know if it's one of the farms I will do in this episode or if it's coming later. I'm not quite sure yet. I also have a small wheat farm over here, and there is one contraption that I really like. The good old wind charge launcher. So if I jump in here, you can see we have a total of 8 dispensers. Each one has wind charges in it. And if we jump in, we can fly out if we want to. And we even get a height of almost 300 blocks. Oh, I even got over the 300 blocks. So yeah, that's a thing. You also see down there is a beacon. I actually went wither skull hunting with Doc. We got enough skulls for 2 beacons, one for Doc, one for me. And so I now have a beacon. It's standing over there because I'm currently excavating a bit. I can show you quite soonish. On a side note, I now have a nether portal here in the corner. And the nether portal, I can show you, it actually leads to the nether roof. So some of the other nerds did move to the nether roof. And we have marked some pathways for now with torches. We can convert it to proper streets on the nether roof. We don't know yet who will be responsible for that. Maybe I will take the job. But yeah, we now have quick connections, at least to docks and will space. We also have a quick connection to the end portal. I don't know yet if we have a quick connection to the spawn. I still need to check that out. But yeah, that's also some more things that have been developing in between the episodes. And finally, we have a whole big hole here. Yeah, this one will be the place where we will build the sugarcane and the bamboo farm. Both together will be placed into this complete hall here. And I'm really excited about it because I like building this farm. And I also need a ton of sugarcane. So the plan is to build the farm itself here and have an output on this wall that still needs to be dug, so that we can maybe have a room here that has the outlets for the farms, where I will have some shulker loaders and some autocrafters for the bamboo, so that we can directly access the stuff here. That's the plan for now. And we'll see how well that will work. I think we have a ton of space here and we can put up some really good farms. Speaking about farms, this is exactly the plan for today's episode. I still have a ton of farms in my mind and I still want to build some more farms before I start out with the builds around the farms with the decoration. I always want to make sure that I can access the stuff I want to access. So I'm building the farms first, and then I normally hide the farms within some buildings if it's needed, or I build the decoration for the tunnels here. So yeah, we still have some farms to make, and we will see with which one I start. Maybe I should start with a sugarcane farm, but I think the tiger from the off can tell you more about it, because I don't know how I will cut it. So I'll head over to the other tiger, speaking from the offs, and let's see what will be the first farm to build.
Well, thank you, Mr. Tiger, from the intro. For the first farm of the video, I wanted to make something simple, so I started digging out some space next to the staircase to my deep slate mine. In this area, I intended to put some farms that don't need that much space. And the first one of these small farms is needed for a project that is planned for this video, but I forgot to mention it in the intro. You see, I wanted to build my rocket shop already, so I want this shop to be like a cloud floating in the sky over the woodland mansion. For this, I would need a variance of different bright white materials. And what would be better than snow? So of course, we're building a snow farm right now. After making the space, I set in a 2x2 platform where the snow column could stand, and then I made a ring of slabs around it. This setup allows me to insta-mine 3 of the 4 blocks where the snow layers generate at the same time. Around the setup, I prepared some chests to store the product of the farm. Normally, I tend to not produce more snow than I need, so this way I could store all my snow here instead of having to use more space in my storage area. I also replaced the walls with snow blocks to highlight what this corner is about. And then the tiny farm for snow was finished. So while I was recording the bit that should have been here as well as the next segment of the video, apparently something went wrong and I don't really have the video footage of it anymore. Luckily, I still have the flashback recording, so let's just pretend, everyone, that I have just finished gathering everything that I need for my fireworks and flight rocket shop. And yeah, then let's head over to spawn to show it off, show the building, and then let's meet again when I have finished it building. So there we go, and originally I wanted to make a little joke about, yeah, I proudly present you the Sky Shop, yeah, but where is it? Yeah, of course, if you've seen the time-lapse you should know that the Sky Shop is actually in the sky. Hello there, little cloud that has turned out a little bit darker than I originally intended it to be, but I think it actually looks fine from down here. And how do you get up? Well, obviously you can fly up, but in case you don't have an elytra or enough rockets, you can jump in here and then you fly up and then you can actually land on the Sky Shop. Yeah, welcome to the Sky Shop. We have flight rockets up ahead, wind charges to the left, fireworks to the right. Fireworks are not yet in stock because I need to test out my whole setup for fireworks, how I want to craft them and everything, and what kind of fireworks I want to craft. I have
this idea in mind that maybe I can do like 3 tiers, so cheaper fireworks, like simple ones, then a tier 2, which are a little bit more complex, and the really nice looking ones will be tier 3 then. And I also have buttons prepared here, and under these carpets are dispensers, so that it would be possible to fire off some example fireworks here. Also, flight rockets. I am currently stocking the flight duration 1. Flight duration 2 and 3 will be stocked by Zenny initially, and I have also made a deal with Zenny that if he wants to restock the flight duration 1s in case that I might be not active in a little while, so that they keep being stocked. So Zenny just has the obligation to, if he takes out fireworks or profits from fireworks, if he takes out diamonds for profits, he also has to restock that slot again. And the last chest here is a large chest which is not yet named, because this one will later contain full boxes, full shulker boxes of fireworks, flight duration 1. This one will also be something that I have in stock soon, but not right now because I don't have the production for it. That will be something to tackle on later in this video, that I will ramp up the production for it. And last but not least, we have the wind chargers here. So I have a chest of wind chargers here. 1 diamond per stack. People can buy them directly. And we have the wind charge launcher order system. So people can ask me to set up a wind charge launcher just like the one at the bottom of the shop for 5 diamonds, then it will be empty, and refill for the launcher can be ordered in between 60 diamonds and 72 diamonds. 62 diamonds for 72 stacks at maximum, but most likely the launchers will not be completely empty. Maybe for the initial setup the launchers will be completely empty, and yeah, then we need to charge the whole 60 diamonds. Yes, that is expensive, but it's also 72 stacks of wind charges, which would normally be 72 diamonds. Maybe I will go down on the prices a bit once I have ramped up my wind charge production. That one is also not yet ready. Really, I only have a small production right now. But yeah, that's about it. We have everything here. And we also have a second wind charge launcher here. So we can actually shoot up even further. We go up to maybe like Y level 400 and we can glide to everywhere. I can drop right here and glide back to my base. That's a really nice thing. Anyways, I'm about to do a live stream right now in a couple of hours. I'm currently on my lunch break, and after work today I will do a live stream where I plan on building up a ominous bottle farm out of a pillager outpost, and I will do that on a live stream, on the second live stream that I am doing from the SMP here. And yeah, I most likely won't have the footage directly here, but I maybe can show you guys a flashback time lapse of the building itself here in the video. So yeah, let's head over to prepare everything for the live stream later, and then I can maybe show you a time lapse. So let's go. So, here we go. It is now just about a day after I built the pillager farm down below, and I just did a small farming section, about half an hour, maybe a little bit more than half an hour, that I've spent up on the platform here, and we should have a good bunch of ominous potions down there. So I'd say let's get down and check it. Hopefully I won't get busted by the pillagers here, because they tend to get quite violent there, and they are quite a lot. So let's just get in here. Yes, it's getting quite loud. Hello, buddy. What are you doing here? Ooh, yeah, that's good. Let me just take all of that. Ah, okay, now the spawn's turned a little bit down because I'm now also here at the bottom. Okay. So over here I have a second chest. That one is for Zenikai, because Zeni originally wanted to build a ominous potion farm for himself at this location, because he wanted to build a raid farm. And so I've offered him to build the pillager outpost, because it's right around the corner of my base. And yeah, I'm keeping the level 1 and 2 bad omen potions, which I now have almost 2 stacks of them. Nice. And I leave the 3, 4 and 5 ones for Zenikai, so that he can have... Ooh, that's not good. I guess I have to heal the Iron Golem. Zenikai wants to have these for his raids, or for his raid farm, and I leave the potions there for him. And we also have a whole bunch of ominous banners here, because Zimmy, who is also around the corner from here, asked me to get him some banners, so I can just send him a message. And yeah, basically I can tell him, here you can pick up your banners that he wanted. But right now I have a little bit more of a problem, aside from the fact that I can't land on my own pier right now. Now that's better. And the problem has to do with the fact that I have a full-on flight rocket shop, and the stuff behind me is my only sugarcane farm. That is one of the problems. The second one is the fact that my gunpowder farm, which you see in the distance there, the spawning platforms could reach up to this big shade platform over there, but it isn't. And so the raids are also really throttled, and I really need to ramp up my production for flight rockets here, so that I can also stock the shulker box versions of the flight rocket packages. And for that I already have, as you can see, there is a beacon over there standing, and underground I have already dug out some space for my sugarcane farm. So I'm ready to build an automated sugarcane farm over there, and I'm also ready to build up more of the spawning layers for the gunpowder farm. So let's do these 2 parts, and I'll see you when all of that is done, and let's see how much we can ramp up the production for my flight rockets. So let's get going! So there we go. I added a total of 15 more layers to it, and there should be now 25 spawn layers. I actually have a bit more room on the top, so I can add more, maybe 5 or 6 more layers until I hit the area where the creepers wouldn't spawn anymore if I'm standing on the top. So maybe I can improve the rates a little bit, but I already liked the rates of this farm. So I didn't really test it for the numbers yet, but I would assume it's at least twice the amount that I had before, which is really good. I took out a ton of sugarcane. Sugarcane, yeah, nice one, Tiger. This is the gunpowder farm. Boy. I took out a ton of gunpowder already, maybe like 2 shulker boxes there. That was really good, but I'm now heading over to the sugarcane farm. And I can also show you a bit that has happened here in the tunnel between the farms, because the sugarcane farm is right there on the other side. And yeah, this used to be a tunnel here. Why isn't it a tunnel anymore? Yeah, I kinda needed like 60 stacks of cobblestone for the sugarcane farm to build all the observers and pistons. So some stuff had to vanish for that. But anyways, I wanted to make like a bigger hall here anyways for some ideas that I had, and I can tackle these ideas later. I can elaborate on them just in a moment. But here you can now see the sugarcane farm as it is covered, as it was in the last shot of the time-lapse. And here you can see the output. And the output is also really good. Currently, the sugarcane farm, it has a little bit more, over 5 times the amount of sugarcane growing than my small manual sugarcane farm outside. And additionally to the over 5 times the amount of plants growing, it's also getting automatically harvested. So from time to time you might see the sugarcane flying up here. And since it's getting harvested automatically, I now don't have to harvest it, of course. So the farm doesn't slow down if it's fully grown. So I might have like at least 5 times, maybe up to 8 or 9 times the production of sugarcane that I had before. And that's really good, because now I already have 4 shulker boxes of rockets that are being sold in my Sky Shop. I've already packed them there. So I'm starting to producing so many flight rockets now that I'm making more flight rockets than the other nerds are able to use. That's good, because if I'm capping out the storage in the shop, then I can start producing some firework rockets and sell them as well. And I'm really excited for that. But anyways, for now, I think I also need to make even more space here in the hall, because I have the idea of making a really big hall where some more farms getting into it. And I need to check how much space I can actually use here. So you see the marker over there in the wall? That's basically where I have clearance from the storage, because behind this part of the wall there's the storage. And after that marker, from that one to the right, I can basically push the wall down quite a bit. I would say I can go pretty much the whole way until the opening there. So I think I can make a pretty big hall there, and it will maybe also go down quite a bit later. So it's a really big volume that I'm erasing here, but I think I can make something out of it. But before we can say that, we actually need on digging stuff again. And yes, it will be another time lapse, and I know that I'm quite overusing the time lapses right now, but to be honest, I'm really wanting to make this area right now, and I don't really think you guys would enjoy me watching me doing all this in real time. Admittedly, I wouldn't enjoy watching that, so bear with me for another time lapse, and we'll see how much space we actually have here. All right, there we have it. This is the total size of the hall that I have available. And behind me you can already see that I've made the wall for the first kelp farm. And I've already dug out the second kelp farm. And the whole hall here will be going down quite some blocks. So you see at this bottom layer here, where I've already been preparing some stuff, the whole hall here will be dug down to this level, and we will have most likely a bridge going from here to the other side, and that over there will also be more or less a balcony. And then we will have a big hall here where some farms are located, maybe also just some passageways to more farms. Basically everything that doesn't fit outside on the ocean will be held in here, or the passageways to it. And for the next step I would start on building the kelp farm over there, but to be honest, I have built so much lately here that I am more feeling like going a bit exploring, and most of all I'm feeling like making a trial chamber run. And I've made a deal with Will, because Will wants to dig out a trial chamber for its copper, and he has already reserved one trial chamber for himself, and he's already looted it. And I've made a deal with him to get the breeze spawners afterwards, so that I can farm the breeze spawners for breeze rods. And for that now I am taking some stone and some empty shulker boxes to secure the trial chamber, because while it has been looted, Will did not secure the spawners. So I'm heading over to this trial chamber and I'm looking if I can secure the spawners so that nothing in this trial chamber can spawn anymore. And with that, it's easier to dug out the trial chamber for Will, and it's also easier for me to convert the spawners into the tiny farms that I'm already using in my other trial chamber. So I'm just flying over, see if I can find the drop-in point, and then we'll have some action with the trial chambers. So let's get going. So it is now a couple of days after I finished the trial chamber run, and I didn't really play that much during the last couple of days. And right now I'm preparing for a live stream that I'm about to do here on my YouTube channel. If you want to join into the live streams, you can always check them out, also in the video on demand section. They are always there, I keep them there. And originally I planned on making the first layers of the kelp farm in the cave system, so that we can start the automatic kelp production. However, we have a little bit of an issue here with the trading hall. As you can see, there are a bunch of zombified villagers. Actually, I have no idea how that can happen. I thought that everything in here is spawn-proofed, so that no zombie can spawn anywhere in this area. I thought that. So my two guesses would be that maybe a zombie walked in all the way from here. I don't know if that's a thing, if they can walk this far by chance, or if maybe there was a trident drowned that can attack the villagers. I don't know if that's a possibility, that I don't know if trident drowned attack villagers from below. However, that drowned, it needed to be a really bad sniper. So I don't think that this would be a possibility either. And as you can see, also here, the corners are getting a little bit dark, but it's still light level 3 on the block, so there should be no possibility that zombies can spawn on this platform here. I don't know how the villagers got zombified, I have no idea. However, I need to fix it, and I will make this my priority in the live stream for now. And yeah, that's the goal in the live stream, to cure the villagers, also maybe build a bit more on the trading hall. And yeah, maybe I can show you a little bit, as always, in a flashback time-lapse. But for now, I will not promise that, because I don't know how that one turns out. Anyways, I'll hop into the live stream and we'll build up more parts of the trading hall. Let's go! So it is now 2 days after the live stream where I built the wall around the villager trading hall, and I've secured that very well. It works pretty good, and I haven't played that much during the time. I did a little bit on the top here because I actually inserted a pumpkin farm over there, so that we can harvest some pumpkin and so that we can get some farmer villagers ready and also generate some emeralds through farmers. That is one of the goals that I might need soon. And we also have done quite a bit with the kelp farm. This is a little bit more than I did in the live stream. I did some more layers to the kelp farm. Also, I started with the second corner over there. That is also wired up already. So everything that I'm producing in kelp lands down here. There's a bubble column coming up right behind this block on the side. And all the kelp is coming up here, and it's going over these hoppers here. So the kelp here gets smelted. The dried kelp items get collected over there. There's a dropper behind it that automatically activates each time a kelp comes in. And it's putting all the kelp into this crafter here. And if the crafter is full, it also gets activated and it generates a dried kelp block that got shot out behind. And there is a hopper line running behind the smokers as well. feeding the smokers the dried kelp blocks. So like that we always have these smokers powered, and in sometimes all the kelp on all the hoppers behind will be filled up with dried kelp, and after that the remaining dried kelp blocks will be collected here. So that way we can have a reliable source of dried kelp. I didn't really finish the farm so far because I want to have dried kelp blocks also in the farm. If we look closely here, behind the kelp plants there is one layer of dark blocks, and these blocks are actually dried kelp blocks, and I didn't have enough of them, so I have to produce them right now. And that's why I didn't finish all the dried kelp blocks, or all the spawn layers. All the farming layers, of course. So let me just put these here. I keep 43, and I thought it would be a really nice thing to show you guys how I built one of the farm layers. So let me just get the other stuff that I need. It's a really simple concept, and I can show you how this concept is set up. I've prepared the wall, as you can see. Every layer has like a groove in the middle. It's 3 blocks tall and has a groove in the middle, and the groove is where the node blocks come in. So if we go down here, we see that this here is already one of the layers. The bottom layer always gets the dried kelp. In the middle we have the node blocks and the pistons in front of them, and in the top we have the observers facing outwards. The observers are the most tricky part to place, and I can show you how I do that, because I make use of my elytra here. It might be a bit dark right now, I'm sorry for that. Maybe I can put some torches up there. So what I'm doing here is I'm crouching under the groove. You can use a trapdoor. I'm just using my elytra here. That works as well. If you don't have an elytra, you can use a trapdoor. And I'm placing the observers like this, so that they are facing outwards. So basically they are observing the block in front here. It's the same principle as you have with a sugarcane farm. And I'm using node blocks here in the middle. With most tutorials for sugarcane farms, you would see that there is a solid block. Any solid block, doesn't have to be a node block. It could be stone or gravel or whatever you want. And most people tend to use that, a solid block, and on top they use a redstone line. You can also use a solid block on the top and a node block under it, and that one has the advantage that it only uses, or it only activates one single piston. If you use a redstone line, it activates up to, let me guess, 29 pistons, I think. And like this, I only activate one piston, and it also is a little bit more lag efficient for servers, and especially since we are playing on a server, having the redstone lines here is not really nice, especially since this is not the only farm, but I have also a sugarcane farm that uses the same principle, and I'm also planning on making a bamboo farm that has the same principle, so that adds up to quite a lot in total, and that's why I told myself that I use the node blocks, even though the node blocks are a little bit more expensive, of course. But considering this is still my first season on Nerdcraft SMP, so I don't want to make the owners angry. So yeah, if we have the observers right now. We can make one line of kelp above it. And then the water supply for the farming layer comes from below. From above, sorry. The water is supplying the layer below. So I'm taking this right here. And then I have to put a water source on each single observer. Unfortunately, some people would say just make it every second and then you will get a water source in between. Depending on the situation, it might not be the case, and it is not the case here. Especially, I've discovered, if you have a water source or two water sources with one block apart that are both flowing down right next to the block, like this. Especially then, they tend to not create a water source in between. Since this is the case here, I sadly have to make a little more of an effort here and run around a few more times to get the water sources in. So let me just do that quickly. And there we have it. And now I just noticed that I didn't bring any kelp. So let me just fix that. And with this setup, you can actually place the kelp right on top of the observers. And then it will start growing, as you can see. And as soon as it reaches the third stage, third growing stage, then the observer will fire the piston and the kelp will shoot down against this wall down into the channel. So yeah, that's how this kelp farm is working. I will build 2 more layers right now, and after that I maybe have to wait for some more kelp blocks to generate. So I want to finish the kelp farm in this episode, but for now let me quickly finish the layers that I can finish right now. Well, this sucks. Oh boy. Yeah, it's more than 20 blocks. Oh my god, I got so scared here. Oh boy. Okay, so now we got it in. I'm still planning on making the ceiling 1 block lower, so I might consider putting some lights in there so that we can actually see something here. But now we have the kelp farm finished. The production should be ramping up soon. And with that being said, we have done almost everything that I planned for this episode. And there might be one thing that came up in the last couple of days, because I got asked so many times on whether I'm also selling gunpowder or why I'm selling fireworks, rockets and no gunpowder in the shopping district. So I thought about it and I was like, yeah, maybe I could make an actual gunpowder shop. And I also have a corner in my mind. So I think I will be brainstorming a little bit which kind of decoration I want or what kind of blocks I will need. And then I might build up a small gunpowder shop in the shopping district. So yeah, let me check everything and I'll see you when I have finished the shop. So there we have it. Please don't mind me having an arrow in my head. I just saw that behind there in the window where you see a torch hanging on the wall, there was a spot where it was so dark that actually mobs could spawn there. So I had to clear out some tenants. And yeah, this is the new TNT and gunpowder corner that I have here. You see, TNT 3 diamonds per 32. We have quite a stock of that. And then we have gunpowder shulkers, 20 diamonds each, and gunpowder 1 diamond per stack. I don't have that many gunpowder shulkers in stock right now because I didn't have that much gunpowder. I have to gradually restock that. But yeah, that's the shop that I wanted to build at the end of the episode. And also the carp farm is ready. So I think that's about it for this episode from the Nerdcraft SMP Season 6. And I hope you enjoyed it. If that's the case, I would appreciate if you left a like on the video and also if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. Have a very nice rest of the day and see you around. Bye for now.